as well.
Oh, yep, she's in the waiting room.
Good deal.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Cindy. Hi. How are you?
It's super duper. How are you?
Fantastic. Sun shining at least, right? Or
That's
it was.
Right. Sort of.
It was. Oh, good.
Take what we can get.
That's for sure.
I just, after going over the agenda, I thought, holy cow, approval of the minutes.
Yeah.
So I dug them out and I sent them to everyone. They are from November 3rd. And I'm sure everything we talked about was fine, but we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, I figure we're kind of starting fresh now. And so I just threw together an agenda to go off of, so we could have at least some kind of order in our meeting today. You know.
Okay, I'm taking roll call. We still have a few minutes, right? I mean, everybody's clocks aren't the same, so.
Yep.
Okay, and we have, so I got everybody but the top of that brunette in the green shirt.
Kelly?
No, I know, I got Kelly. But is that, hold on, let me, Mr. Spuneagle.
How are you?
You know, I hate to tell you, honey, but we got to see your eyes, not the top of your head. Hey, Russ.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm glad you're here.
Well, good to be here. Thank you. Nice to look out there and see you.
Yes. Oh, you know, you're such a sweetheart. Okay, I'm taking roll call. We're missing a lot of people. Do we know who definitely won't be here?
No, I didn't hear back from anybody.
Okay,
John Howard told me today that he would be here.
Okay, good. We may have to impress that upon them. Let us know yay or nay, so we don't wait.
Yeah, we'll give them a couple more minutes and get things going.
Sure.
Hearing a lot of kids running around over in Chris's neighborhood. I got all the baseball fields going, and
it's been busy over there in the soccer fields.
Yep. Yeah, it's awesome.
It is awesome. Slowly but surely, we'll get there.
Yes. I think Friday we canceled games because it was raining and 36 at that time. So, when the league called me, I said, well, there really wasn't much we could do to the fields. And to be honest, if I was a parent, I'd be happy if you canceled tonight and tried for tomorrow, you know? So it was mostly just the little guys out there playing, you know? So.
No, they don't care. They don't feel it. The kids don't feel it.
No.
It's the parents and the spectators.
Yes. Yep, that's for sure. No.
Has any of this wind been helping you take trees down?
No, we've been lucky. No, we haven't.
You got them all in good shape.
You know, we're getting there. Yeah. And all the leaves aren't out yet. So, you know, those big maples really haven't leafed all the way out yet or anything, but boy, what a beautiful spring.
Yes.
You know, the flowers this year on the trees were just fantastic.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was snowing in my yard before it was actually snowing because all the petals had dropped off the cherry trees.
Yeah.
Every time my dog stuck her nose down in the ground, she come up with 3 or 4 flowers on her face. You know?
And you didn't take a picture to send us?
I'll have to get one. I'm sure I've got a bunch on my phone.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The blossoms, the trees this year.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Crickets.
Awesome. So we want to go ahead and we can get started. I got a lot of rambling on to do today, so you can stop me or pause me at any time.
Thanks for the
Okay.
warning.
What's
Yep.
okay, so what's the code word, Dan?
Just wave.
Wave.
Just wave. That's enough.
We're going out there. No? Okay. All right. Just wait.
Oh,
So is somebody taking notes?
Kelly is.
Thank
Oh,
you,
okay.
Kelly. Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
And
Thank
that's where I'd like to start, is with my introductions of our two new members to the Parks Department. Kelly Johnson, who works at the DPW, has now decided to help us out, or graciously has decided to help us out with the park recreation coordinator duties to get us through the summer.
Thank you.
Great.
So we're lucky with that. If any of you have had the chance to talk to Kelly on the phone, she really puts out a lot of fires before they come through to me and Matt, which is great, and has been a big help to us. And then we've got Matt Spinagle, who is now our park
Pen with the top
supervisor.
of the head.
And Matt's been with us for what, probably about a month now, Matt?
A little over a month, yeah.
Yeah, so he hasn't left, so that's a real good sign. We haven't scared him away yet. But yeah, Matt and Kelly have been the engine behind getting our baseball and softball programs going this summer. It's been a difficult task, to say the least. We're getting people really wanting even to get involved and get outside and do things, you know. I think it's put a lot of scare into people still with wanting to be out and about. And we've seen that with not just our programs, but with numbers of the other programs going on too. So hopefully we're setting the path and the road to go on and getting things back to normal. And by fall, numbers increase in the other sports. And then we get back to normal again here in a year's time. So that's what we're hoping for and gearing towards, but we are running City Rec baseball. First games are next week, right, Matt?
Yep, starting Tuesday, the 18th.
And they'll be playing over at Nordstrom Park. And softball, adult softball, played their first games last Sunday. So Babe Ruth girls softball is also in full swing, and they're playing down at Jones and Gifford again this year. And they're playing just about every night of the week except for Sundays. So their numbers are actually, it's not their individual team numbers, but the amount of teams have increased for them. They're playing teams from Panama, Sherman, everywhere in the local area, where those areas have had to combine to get teams now. Basically play as a Southwestern or a Lakewood team. So now they've actually got more teams in the league, which is great. Yep.
Question. On our city rec and our softballs and all of our teams, what are our regulations and stipulations to coincide with COVID?
What we're doing right now is just asking them to social distance and wear masks and follow the local and state guidelines.
Is that players have to wear masks or spectators or?
Everybody. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody social distance, wear masks, and follow your state and local guidelines.
Okay.
Yep. So that's allowing more people outside. And baseball is the kind of sport where you can be distanced away from each other and still out in the field, which is real nice.
Dugout.
Yep. Yeah. We're at softball. Everybody kind of goes back to their own cars anyways, right? You know, you hang with your family while you're playing and stuff. So with City Rec, we're thinking the kids are going to kind of do the same. You know, the parents are corralling them and that stuff. And those dugouts are big enough that it's more than just the dugout. There's a whole fenced in area. So you can still have the kids there and separated out from each other. So
As long as
how about the umpires? What umpires are you using for the various programs?
right now we're still looking for a full-time umpire for the City Rec. We have Chuck Warner, who's done it for years in the past, is going to help us out to start the season, but he really kind of wants to get away from the program, Russ. And then we got Donnie Nelson and Bo Bello and their crew doing the adult games on Sundays. and the girls Babe Ruth League is doing all of theirs. Just like Babe Ruth does, I think they end up using kids that have kind of aged out of programs or that age group, and they bring them back to be umpires. So
Good.
that's worked out real well. And we've also got midget football going on right now too. So we have South Side that practices up at Allen Park, West Side that practices up at Bergman, and they're just running with their older age group right now because next year those kids will age out and be playing at the high school levels. So they're running that one age group program with plans to go full force again in the fall. Jay's soccer, last I heard, their numbers are actually better this year than have been in the previous years, and are looking to run a full slate of programs as well. So they'll be starting up the second week of June, I believe is probably, well, it's the third week this year. The 14th, they're going to be starting practices and then games the following week.
Did you have enough money in the city rec program to take all of the kids in?
Yes. Yep. We did. We were able to purchase some new equipment actually this year as well. Matt, what did we end up picking up for the kids?
One team needed basically a full set of equipment because it burnt down in the house fire. So we got them helmets, bats, catcher's equipment, bag, the whole 9 yards, and we were able to use the account for that.
Good.
Yeah, and we've got a good supply of both softballs and baseballs to get us through the season for this year. The stadium's been up and running now for over a month. JCC just wrapped up their season. The Old Timers played a doubleheader underneath the lights last Saturday, and I just got a call just before the meeting from Ron Thomas with the Old Timers group looking to play again, not this weekend, but I think it's next weekend. And maybe even play under the lights again as well. So we're looking to get our local World Series team out on that field a couple times for practice before the tournament starts. And they have a limited number of time that they can actually be on the field. When tournament play starts for the whole World Series, they're not allowed to even practice on the field they'll be playing games at. So we'll get them here in the next couple of weeks, get them in there as often as we can and get them out familiar with playing at the stadium and running around. So Tarp Skunks start June 10th is their first home game. And I believe they've got kids arriving the last week of May for the team. So just got our new tarp for the field in today for them.
You get a skunk to go with it?
It came skunk free, but we don't know how long that's going to be, Ross. And what we plan on doing is doing a dry run with it once they get the team here and show them how to do it and roll it out. Hopefully we don't have to use it, but at least we'll be prepared to if it comes. So that's some of what we got going on right now. And looking forward
to introduction of new employees. Although we don't have Zach with us, can you explain who Zach is?
Yes, Zach is the mayor's assistant. So he works with us on projects that we take to Eddie or together collaboratively. We work on different things going on and schedules and orders and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll be hearing from Zach, I'm sure, every once in a while, probably popping into a meeting or two of ours. And Michaela Cleveland. Michaela is the mayor's, I don't know if secretary's the word. I'm sure it's different in the title.
Administrative assistant, right, Kel?
Administrative assistant. There we go. Yep.
Wow, we got to work on you, Dean.
So, yeah, if you call the mayor's office, more than likely Michaela's going to answer the phone for you. And luckily enough, she knows how to set up Zoom meetings because we haven't gotten there yet. So I have hard enough time getting the camera and the microphone to work. So
that's fine.
Yeah. So they'll be working out of City Hall, and Kelly's back down on Steel Street with Jeff. at the DPW offices. They've moved out of City Hall
you're
now.
lucky, Kelly. You lucky girl.
Yeah. So we're back over on Steel Street now.
Lucky because she's working with me. Is that what you're thinking?
Wow. And to come in on a segue, the man is here. Wait, I got to check you off. Okay. Nice to join us, Jeff. I'm glad you can. Back to Kelly. Kelly, are you taking all or creating all the scheduling for all of these teams and all of these ball fields?
Myself and Matt, but Matt Spunago really did a good chunk of that. He's far more familiar with softball schedules than I.
Okay, so he's not out in the field pretending with his green sweatshirt that he's working. He's actually going to be in the office.
Yeah, he is.
I got it.
Yes.
Dan, how about the picnic pavilions and any of the other programs such as the World Series of Wheels and the Labor Day Festival and all of them? Is that still being stirred up or what?
I haven't heard a definite answer on the car show yet, Russ. I think that's still in the talks. And then Labor Day right now, I believe is still canceled. And we haven't scheduled anything for the band shell as of yet. We're looking at maybe some different things happening at the band shell. We haven't looked at hiring any bands as of yet, but we're having talks about what we can do and what we can go forward with. So,
and all the picnic pavilions will be usable?
Yes, we've actually been renting out the pavilions already.
Wonderful.
Had quite a number of people do so. So we are renting out all pavilions.
Wonderful.
Are you giving the renters stipulations on what they're supposed to be, or are you just trusting them to know that they need to follow guidelines?
I've mentioned it, and some people have asked. Not so many people that are doing individual baby showers or birthday parties for their children, but a few professional organizations that have reserved them have inquired, and I've explained to them what the policy is.
Okay, good. So, but we're not policing it. We're just saying, come on, people.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and any of the events, that's what we're telling everybody is follow your local and state guidelines. You know, and we're just trusting them to do that. And now with more and more getting vaccinated and stuff, you know, we haven't had any issues with anything. You know, when JCC first started, there was no fans at the stadium. By the second, third game, I think it was, we were able to open that up and allow some of the fans in there. And then, like everything else, it seems to change, you know, by the week of what our numbers can be and what can be done. We're still using the COVID cleaning chemical that we had purchased at the start of the pandemic. It's actually a nice cleaning product and probably saves us a little bit of money compared to using all the other stuff we were using before. So we spray the playgrounds down with that, been spraying the bleachers down, things like that.
Well, then when somebody like the Babe Ruth World Series or the Star Skunks are using the stadium, is that their responsibility to do the cleaning and do it properly? Or is that the trained people within the Parks Department?
Well, as you know, Dom will be the caretaker at the stadium again this year, and he's also working the Tarp Skunk teams. So he's taking care of the restrooms and the seating areas, the grandstands and the bleachers and that kind of thing, Russ.
That's a full-time job.
Yep. So after every skunk game, you know, usually they play a Friday game and then they're there Saturday. So after every game forever, what the guys do is they blow the garbage all out of the seating area. Same thing with World Series games. And then they go through and wash down the bleachers and the grandstands. So our scope of work really hasn't changed because of that. And they're down there cleaning the bathrooms all the time during the games. So nothing's really changed on that end for us. We were doing that work prior anyways.
Good.
Depending on if there's new regulations or stipulations that's handed down by the leagues, then we might, and we've had talks with Jacob about it already, depending on what they're told it needs to follow by, and then that's what we'll go by as well.
Good.
And just a follow-up question on the World Series.
Whoa. Mr. Bauer?
What?
Welcome.
One John. I've been here.
Yeah. Okay. Just didn't see. There was only one John. Thank you.
One John, no waiting.
I get.
After all these years, seems a little strange to say.
Yes, it
Anyway,
does.
Dan, when you say they're in discussions with the World Series of Wheels, is that whether the city will allow that to happen, or whether the World Series of Wheels committee is going to put it on? Is the city good with
I guess probably a little bit of both, I guess. I haven't heard a definite answer if there's going to be a car show this year or not. I know probably a couple months ago when nothing was opened up at that point, we weren't looking at having one. Or you guys, the World Series committee wasn't looking at having one because things have changed. I haven't heard anything one way or another. So it's more speculation, I guess, on my part that I don't know if it's going on right now.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything either. And we do have a board meeting tomorrow night, so I can ask that question again. But do you think the city would let that event happen?
Well, I can tell you, John, we just got approached by a different group for a car show in Bergman Park, the middle of September, right, Jen? I think it's the 18th. A local car group is looking to do, and they were last year too, until the pandemic, of having a car show a little bit different than the traditional car show that we hold, but they're in the process of doing their paperwork on it now.
Who might be that be?
It's the Las Contreras.
Contra Contes,
Yeah.
I believe is how you pronounce it.
And it translated, I was told, as the Contenders. It's a local car club where they have a lot of the lower riding cars and the sound systems, and they have the cars lit up. You might have seen one of the members that I spoke with the other day. He has a car that's all done up as Lucy. So you might have seen that around town, where his graphics on his car are the Lucy emblems and the heart and all that kind of stuff. So
it's not the decobblers, then?
No.
And how about the car show downtown? Is that still being discussed?
I haven't heard an update on it, Russ, but I want to say a couple months ago, there was still talks that they wanted to do the cruising downtown. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen or heard an update on it. Jen, do you know?
I actually have a Zoom call scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9, where I'll be talking with some local organizations and representatives from the chamber. Actually called, and just kind of asked what our special event policy is up to this point. And all we've been telling folks is to submit your applications. We'll put it through the system, through the channels like we normally do. It'll be up to the Public Safety Committee to issue the final approval once department heads have signed off. The governor, we know every day it changes, and now we're up to 500 outside is the acceptable number. However, the stipulation is if it goes over that, people have to be prepared with proof of vaccination or a negative COVID result. So the numbers for these events, it's a very kind of a fine line right now. I should know more after tomorrow, but we've just been telling sponsors, if you want to submit your application, submit it. We're happy to, to try and get it approved, but, it's kind of up, the responsibility is really on the sponsor to make sure that those state and local guidelines are being followed. And, I would always recommend that they have enough volunteers on staff to just make sure that, if it's a masking situation or social distancing, anything like that, people are there to make sure that that's happening. I just looked at the numbers for the county right now. We're only at a 31% vaccination rate. So, we're not to the point yet where we have the security of herd immunity where we can just go out and not wear our masks. My son plays travel soccer, and the players are not required to wear a mask, but everyone else is. When they're on the bench, they're supposed to have their masks on. Refs, coaches are supposed to be masked, to the fans. So it's it's kind of different. You just have to pay attention to your organization's guidelines at this point. And we follow the Western New York Soccer Association's guidelines for that. So it's tricky, but we're trying to bring some events back. We've had a lot of smaller event applications come through, so those have been a little easier to kind of, you feel okay about them. So we may know more after tomorrow's call, but that's kind of where we stand at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had been speaking with the Blue Star Mothers Group, which will have their event on the 29th over in Veterans Park. And a couple months ago, Susan Raleigh had reached out to me, and I told her at that point, just go ahead and plan your event. And then if we've got to cancel for any reason, then we deal with it when the time comes. So we're looking at having that event at the end of the month. There is no Memorial Day parade this year. And I was told the ceremony that usually goes on in the cemetery is going to be invite only this year too. So yeah, we figure it's easier to go ahead and get the paperwork in and get your planning set. And then if unfortunately you had to cancel, that's a little bit easier than trying to rush and get everything together at one point. We're also looking at having Juneteenth go on this year over at Jackson Taylor Park as well. So, yeah, hoping to, like I said before, hoping to get things moving forward and be able to do more and more. So,
God bless you.
So, I guess the first one I'll go after is the skate park update. Last Thursday, we had the groundbreaking for the new skate park, which is going right over here off of Jones and Gifford and Fairmount, where they come together right over here by our shop. So we're looking at moving forward with that and getting ground moved over there. I believe it's actually the 17th, right? Monday. We're supposed to have some construction work going on over there, Jeff.
Internally.
Yep.
We're working with a contractor right now. We met with him today for the first time face to face on site, and they're looking at pulling into town at the end of the month, first of the month, to get their stuff started. But we've got some stuff we're going to be doing to get it prepared for them to get started.
Jeff, will that be a lighted facility or only during daylight hours?
Like all our parks, it's really only during daylight hours, but we are planning a certain amount of lighting because it'll be on the Riverwalk. So the Riverwalk lighting will be there. There will be some lights on the skateboard park itself, really to get it up to, I guess, where they like it. They're talking like a Musco lighting plan, which, as you know, Russ, is pretty expensive. So
yes,
we're kind of working on that right now. It's very perceptive on your part, since that was the one question we had today coming out of the meeting. We really didn't put an answer to.
What about security cameras on this?
We don't have any planned as of yet, but I'm sure they will be security cameras down there. They're just like all the other parks.
Yep. So we've been down there doing some initial site work over the last couple of weeks, clearing some land, moving some trees, cutting some trees, and looking at some hardscape work before the actual construction takes place. But it should be a great facility, and a great addition to the parks. So looking forward to that for sure.
I can also note that Lakeshore Paving is going to be doing a lot of their site work for them. So we will have a local contractor involved with this. They're pretty excited about it because it's such a big community project.
great.
Yeah. Funding again from the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, the Community Foundation is involved, and the Tony Hawk had just changed their name to Skate Play USA or something like that, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first I heard of it too.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. So those are the three big players along with the city involved in the project. And, it's been great. The drawings look awesome. I don't know if it's going to convince me to get back on a skateboard again, but it's really nice.
Yeah. Will there be a staff member or somebody there when it is open? Is it under supervision, or do the participants supervise themselves?
No, they pretty much supervise themselves, just like it's a skate park now. You know, of course, we'll be there and maintaining it and dealing with the landscaping and taking care of the garbage and things like that. But at least once a day, somebody will be in there from the parks department, just like all our other unmanned parks, the smaller parks, you know, will be in there. They say changing the garbage in the morning, and with it being pretty much right out our back door, we'll have an eye on it at all times as well.
Possibly Matt and Kelly putting on some clinics, I'm thinking.
Hey, Jackson Taylor.
Jackson Taylor, restrooms. We're getting closer and closer. Hopefully we're wrapped up by the 1st of June. A lot of the site work, the landscaping is taking place now. DPW crews have been in there pouring sidewalks for us as well. Just finishing up some plumbing fixtures and some painting that needs to be done on the inside. We need the temps to warm up a little bit, you know. Even the days where it's been 60, 70 degrees, that concrete block inside there doesn't warm up too fast. So just waiting for Mother Nature to help us out there, and then we'll start with getting the interior painted, and we're shooting for June 1st, and then be able to energize everything. With the water line in the park, unfortunately, it's really all or nothing. So none of the other restrooms haven't even been able to be open yet this year because of the construction and the work. So we're really looking forward to get that opened up and get everything moving over there. We've also been building the Shadowcoin Adventure Trail over there, which is a natural playground at the corner of Elizabeth and 10th. We have a little circled out area that will have 3 native flower planting beds around it. And we've created stump jumps. So we took some of the wood from 3rd Street and buried those logs about 3-4 feet into the ground, and we'll cut them off at different heights so the kids have a stump jump to go over and around.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So what we'll do initially, actually on June 5th, we will have a community build day over there, where we'll just be laying the wood chips inside. Once that's done, we're going to take a couple of the bigger pieces of wood from 3rd Street and set those in the middle so the kids can climb and run and jump on the logs as well. And then we're hoping within the next year's time, we're going to be able to fabricate some stuff from the 3rd Street Oaks to actually be incorporated into that playground.
Dan, I thought we talked about at meetings quite some time ago. It was around early when we named the park Jackson Taylor, about some kind of identification down there for the unfortunate people that never got to know and did not know these two, these wonderful people. A little bit about their history and who they are, like the Taylors and the Jacksons. Is that still being thought about?
It has been talked about a little bit, Russ. I can see where it is set right now. You know, our focus has been trying to get the restroom area and everything opened up right now, and then get this nature playground put in and get the park back to where it was and more user friendly. But yeah, I can definitely mention that and see where we're looking to go with that.
Well, there are three very wonderful and outstanding people. And if anybody drops in from Mars, we'd like them to know they can go someplace on a plaque and educate themselves on who these wonderful people are. Definitely. Yep. I agree. Yep. Actually, one of the things for Juneteenth we're looking at doing is planting a couple trees
in honor and memory of Vicki James. So we'll be doing that right by where the natural playground area is. As you guys know, me and Vicki had talked about planting a couple trees in the park last fall. So I've got those trees sitting up in our tree farm now, and we'll look at getting those in the ground here real soon too.
What date is the 13th?
That'll be Saturday, June 19th.
Okay.
So, and there'll be more to come with that. You know, I'll let you know what's going on and what we're looking at doing. And like I said, they're looking at going on with a full festival in the park. Vendors, crafters possibly, you know, food vendors as well, some stuff for the kids. So yeah, hopefully it's nice and warm by June. So,
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I said hoping. So.
And did you say that there's like a community day for spreading like wood chips and stuff like that?
Yeah, right now, Adam, we've got that slated to be June 5th.
Okay.
I'll let you know more on the time, and I'll get that information out to everybody. We've got a group, Royal Fern Nursery, that's going to come in and do some of the plantings. I just met with them yesterday down there. And then we'll have two different kinds of wood chips. We'll have the natural mulch to go into the flower beds, and then the playground chips that'll go right into the playground area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'll get everybody information on that as we get closer to that as well. One event that we got coming up, well, probably our next one, is Hands on Jamestown, which will be May 22nd, so in 2 weeks. And this year's programs run a little bit different. The Chautauqua Land Bank has come in and helped with the program. And we had our first event last month, which ran between West 6th Street and 11th Street, between North Main and Washington. And they had about 100 volunteers come in. I can tell you the garbage truck we had parked here at the shop was just about full by 10:30, 11 o'clock that morning. So it was a great success. And now we're going back to the more traditional right in the downtown area. They're going to do 7 events this year in 7 different parts around the city. So I'll get my hands on a map and get that to you all and let you know what the dates and everything are for that. But next 2 weeks from now, the 22nd, we'll be focusing on the downtown area for that event. Which is nice. As you know, we all get all our flowers planted in the downtown and throughout the parks on that day. So it's great. It's awesome.
Super.
I believe it's an 8 o'clock start, and I'll send out more info on that too. Like I said, I'll get my hands on a map that I can email out to all of you, and that'll have more information on there as well.
Is that coming from Jim Cama?
Jim's involved with that. Yep. Jim's helping out. He's on the committee with us. Like I said, Chautauqua County Land Bank, Gina Paradis has been a big driving force behind it. The JRC, Crystal out of the Department of Development as well, Crystal Sierdick. So it's been great. Like I said, they had close to 100 volunteers on the first weekend. So it was real nice.
It might be better having more days than just one.
Yep. But over the last 5 years, it's kind of spread out to the neighborhoods already, and that's fantastic. I mean, it's worked out really well, but it's kind of turned away from the focus that we originally had in the downtown, and we noticed that impact was less and less. So it's nice to be able to have that and still have the neighborhood involvement as well. So yeah, 7 different ones this summer going on. You know, so, and it's spread out 1 a month, which is nice. You know, it's not every weekend or every other. So that makes it a little bit more convenient for everybody who wants to be involved. So, another thing this month that I didn't put on the agenda is I'm looking at doing Arbor Day on May 28th this year, up in Allen Park. And that'll be at 1 o'clock, and I'll send you all out invitations for that as well. We're looking to replace the area where we had cut down all the spruce trees over off of Isabella or Elizabeth right there, going towards the baseball fields. So We've gotten a grant from the New York Urban Forestry Council that we bought 4 bigger trees with last year. And I'm looking to plant probably 8 to 10 trees that day. This year makes 40 years that we've been a Tree City USA. So, I mean, that's awesome. I can't wait to see the flag this year.
Yes.
So,
yay.
you know,
Thanks to you, Dan, and the parks crew.
You know, I've only been involved for almost half of that now. So, you know, the groundwork before, I was actually chatting with Bonnie a little bit this morning, and it told her it's 40 years. She says, I remember doing the first application with Doug, you know, so that's great. I'm sure your signature was on there too, Russ.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember day one of that.
You know, it's fantastic. It really is. I remember the first time I had met Bruce, and it was in Ellicottville, and he was talking to get them to be a Tree City USA program at that same time. So I didn't know at the time Jamestown was already applying for it and receiving it. It was all a new program, and that's just awesome. So,
yes. Yes.
And like I say, I'll send you out invites and definite times and everything on that. But that's where we're looking at being is in Allen Park on Friday the 28th. So we did celebrate.
28?
Yep.
28.
Yep, May 28th, the last Friday of the month.
Got it.
We were at JCC last month on the actual New York State Arbor Day, planting trees. And as a typical Arbor Day in New York State, it was cold. So a couple snowflakes in the air. So hopefully by the end of May, we're through that. So
okay. Back to Lillian Dixon report.
Yes, I just changed the dates with Parkitects on that. We're waiting for some equipment to come in. We've got most of the playground sitting over here in our shop. We've had it for about a year now, but in the shipping process, there was some damage to some of it. So they came in a little while ago, and it's just going to take them a little bit longer to get a few of the panels that we need. So we're looking at the week of July 26th to start the build and laying the groundwork over there. And we'll look at Saturday, the 31st of July, probably as our community build day on that one. And I'll let you know more as things go on and progress, and hopefully we can keep that timeline with them. I'm expecting to hear back from them actually in the next day or two to nail that down, because originally we were looking at July 12th. So I haven't heard back from them yet, and I talked to them on Friday, so I figured the next day or two, Ben from Parkitects will be reaching out to us and nail that down for sure. So that's going to be a bigger build. As most of you are aware of, we're looking at new swing sets and almost an entire new playground on the one side and connecting it to the other one. I'll get you some of the drawings for that, so you get a better view of what's going to happen over there.
Good.
And then I jumped ahead and already talked about the Shadowcoin Adventure Trail. A little bit more with that. It's going to start at Love School, and they'll have a couple of the native flower beds up in that area, the pollinator gardens, and then it will continue down Main Street to 10th, right into the park where we'll have the natural playground area. So it's been a great project that's been ongoing for a while as well. Due to what everybody's been dealing with over the last year and a half, it's been kind of put on the back burner, but everything's coming to fruition now.
Beautiful.
Tree work. We've kind of slowed down despite the winds. Working on doing some work on North Main Street for a new city entrance sign coming into the city, right out there by McMobile. So we're cutting down a few trees there. We're going to have the new city sign installed and some new sidewalks put in, leading up to Tim Hortons right there, which is nice. I can tell you, the guys cut down, I think, 5 trees the other day, and it really, really opens it up. It was a pretty heavily treed area right there. So now it'll be more inviting, I think, more welcoming to come into the city with a nice new sign. And it should be a pretty unique sign too. There's going to be a couple different aspects of it. Looking at incorporating some of the West 3rd Street oak into it, along with an old railroad trestle that used to be over by the BPU. They were able to save some of that metal, and that'll be incorporated into the sign.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
About, what is it, probably 3 weeks ago now, Cindy, maybe even a month ago, we had opened up the brush dump and started giving away some of the West 3rd Street oak to local artists and residents wanting to use it. I think we ended up with like 35 people that day that came in and got different wood for different things.
Yeah, but was there a dent? Was there a dent?
Not even.
Did any, who else went down? And then you've got it. We took pictures. It was like going to redwood forest. We were just so dwarfed by all that wood. It was amazing how you guys had them stacked like cordwood by size. Was amazing. I figured it'd be just, there's a jumbo go organization plus.
The guys did an unbelievable job on West 3rd Street this winter. You know, what I asked of them to do, they went far and beyond. You know, it's hard enough cutting a tree in the winter, right? You're dealing with all the elements, the ice, the snow, the wind, the rain, let alone being the 3rd Street oaks that we're cutting. And then here I am showing up with 5-gallon buckets of this green paint and telling them every piece that's bigger than this has to be painted green, you know? So now they're out there slathering paintbrushes all over the place. What we did was put a grain end sealer on a lot of the bigger wood, hopefully to help it from splintering and cracking. And it's basically a paint on wax. But we ended up with so many green gloves. I think we're set for the next 20 St. Patrick's Days, you know? But the guys were unbelievable with it. Anything that was, like I say, that big and bigger, we kept. That was good. So, you know, it's a huge mountain of wood down there right now.
3, 4 mountains.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, quite a few. And to be honest with you, probably half of the trees weren't even salvageable at all. So that just gives you an idea of the amount of wood that was really involved with the whole thing.
I gotta say, I'm glad you saved that one that was hollow inside.
Yeah.
So people could see.
Yep.
They could have all been like that and all been coming down on the property.
Yep, there was quite a few. I'll get a picture developed and share with you all that we had some that were so hollowed out that our guys actually fit inside the trunk of the tree.
Oh.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy, but since we've done that, I've even had more people call looking to utilize the wood, and we've had requests as far as wanting to grow mushrooms out of some of our carved out logs to making bar tops for the restaurants downtown. So
fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, Dan, I have to say that day when they were cutting, well, the first day and probably every single day after, when your crew was so polite and so helpful. And what would you like? How big do you want it? Which one do you want? They're just the most polite and wonderful workers. You got to tell them. Thank you.
I will. Thank you. Yeah, we're lucky. I'm real lucky with the crew that we have. You know, we were up there for about 2 months cutting those trees down, right? And I was on that job site a handful of times. You know, we've got guys here that are talented, conscientious, safety orientated, and just run like a well-oiled machine. From anything from maintaining the stadium to our ball fields to cutting trees to pulling stuff out of the river, cleaning restrooms and picking up garbage. You know, it doesn't matter what we ask of our guys. without hesitation, they jump right in and handle it in every way. So really, really lucky on that. And thank you. Yeah, they're hardworking, great guys.
Yep.
So we're hoping to open it up again here at some point. And then we're looking at also having some of our logs sent out to get milled for our use in the parks and to make benches and things like that. So we've had I've got a local wood carver working on some things for us. And then we've had local artists doing renditions of 3rd Street as well. So definitely more to come. So we were also able to go up and get all those stumps ground out at this point. So looking forward to whatever the next phase might be. We're in talks of all different kinds of ideas. Like I told you before, this is not something I just want painted with my brush or a Parks Department brush. We're reaching out to get ideas elsewhere and see how we can make things work and make it once again a really nice entranceway into the city of Jamestown. So yeah, definitely more to come, and we'll keep you informed of that as we go forward.
Super. So I think that's both tree planting and tree work.
Yep. And I figure at the next meeting, we'll look at having a more formal meeting, I guess, and look at election of officers. And hopefully the weather's nice enough that maybe we can be outside in the park somewhere is what I'm looking forward to. So, or maybe we can go down and look at the mountains of oak down there and be on the bike trail. So, yeah,
well,
I'll bring it.
Pull up a couple stumps. We'll sit up some stumps.
Yeah. I'll bring a saw in case anybody wants to take anything, and we'll get you set up. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're looking at June 1st.
Yes. Yep, June 1st.
Okay.
5 o'clock. I'll get everything taken. Me and Kelly, Matt, will get everything taken care of on our end and get you out a new agenda. And we'll figure out where we can go and hopefully sit in a park somewhere.
Sure.
Well, Dan, it's a non-agenda item, and maybe it's not for eyes and ears, but anything happening and at Dow Park and the Underground Railroad?
Yeah, to say yesterday morning was shocking is really an understatement, Russ. We had some working together with the DPW where we fixed a base on one of the statues, and the guys were able to not have to remove the other two. We just did some work on site with that. So we had it here at our shop for a couple of weeks, and last Thursday afternoon, the guys went back over and installed it, and then come to our dismay, yesterday morning we realized it was gone. So I know JPD is looking intently into it, and checking any lead that they can get on it, and hopefully we end up getting our statue back here shortly.
Did its foundation falter or what happened?
No, the concrete's in the ground. The rods are still in the concrete. They ended up ripping it right off the rods and bent the steel rods to get it right out of it. My best guess is the thing weighs probably close to 400 pounds, right? Yeah. As it sat on a pallet here, pallets are generally 4x4 in size. The feet and the head both hung off either end. And the way the arms are outstretched on the statue, that was also falling over. So I'm guessing 6x6 total, size-wise, 6 feet by 6 feet, and anywhere between 400 and 500 pounds. It was definitely not something that one guy was going to do. My guess is a minimum of 3, right? Because of the length and the awkwardness. If it was something like a table or a couch, 2 guys can pick that up and you can comfortably handle that. With the way this thing was built and the different weights here and there on it, minimum 3 guys. Like I said, we had it on a pallet. We used a backhoe with forks to lift the thing up. When they first took it out of the park, they used heavy equipment and straps, so Yeah, like I said, I know JPD is intensely looking into it and following up every lead that they get, and hopefully we end up with some good news here in the coming days.
Good.
So, excellent. Well, I thank you all for coming and being patient as we try to get everything back to normal, even on our end here.
We're all working together on this.
You
Do
know,
we have, for the good of the order, from Mr. Bauer? Or did he leave us?
How about if I make a motion to adjourn? Surprise, surprise.
You know what? There's comfort in that, John. Just let me tell you. There is familiar comfort in that. Do we have a second?
Cindy and Dan, a well-run meeting. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Kelly, very much.
You've got a
Great
lot of
seeing y'all.
projects going on, a lot of work happening, even with all the problems still. So sounds good.
Yep.
Excellent. Great seeing y'all. Thank you.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Hasta la pasta.